This B-17 gunner fell 4 miles without a parachute and lived to tell the tale. January 3, 1943, the skies over Saint-Nazaire, France, were burning. The 8th Air Force had sent out a formation of Boeing B-17 Flying Fortresses from the 360th Bomb Squadron, 303rd Bomb Group, on a mission to attack the Saint-Nazaire submarine pens, one of the most heavily defended targets in occupied France. One of those bombers was B-17F Snap, Crackle, Pop, a sturdy flying fortress manned by 10 young airmen, including 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Alan Eugene Magee, the ball turret gunner. Magee had already flown several combat missions. He was small and wiry, ideal for the cramped, spherical gun turret slung beneath the bomber's belly, a glass bubble that left its occupant terrifyingly exposed to enemy fire. As the formation neared the target, a swarm of German FW-190 fighters from Jagdgeschwader II pounced. Tracers slashed through the air, and 20mm cannon shells shredded the B-17's right wing and fuselage. Flak bursts detonated around them, punching holes through the plane's skin. One round ripped into the ball turret, jamming its rotation and sending shrapnel through Magee's arm. Inside, the crew struggled to keep the fortress in formation, but flames spread fast. The right wing was ablaze, 2 engines were out, and the bomber started to spin. Magee, wounded and choking in smoke, climbed out of his turret into the radio compartment. He reached for his parachute, only to find it had been torn apart by the flak burst. With the aircraft breaking apart, Magee had no choice. He remembered later, "I thought I was dead anyway, so I just jumped." The B-17 disintegrated in midair. As Magee fell through the freezing January sky, 4 miles down, he briefly lost consciousness. Below him lay the French coastal town of Saint-Nazaire. Other airmen watched in horror as his body tumbled end over end through the formation. Then, in an impossible twist of fate, Magee crashed through the glass roof of the Saint-Nazaire railroad station. The massive skylight shattered, slowing his descent just enough to save his life. He slammed into the platform below, battered and broken, but alive. French civilians found him barely breathing and handed him over to German medics. When he woke up, he was in a German field hospital, with 28 shrapnel wounds, a broken leg and ankle, several broken ribs, internal injuries, and severe damage to his nose and eye. Yet he had survived a fall from 22,000 feet. Even the German doctors were stunned. One Luftwaffe officer reportedly told him, "You have been spared for a reason." Magee spent the rest of the war as a prisoner of war at Stalag Luft 17B in Austria. Liberated in 1945, he returned home to New Mexico, where he rebuilt his life quietly. In later interviews, Magee said, "I owe my life to God and to that glass roof." In 1993, 50 years after the Saint-Nazaire mission, Magee returned to France. There, local officials unveiled a memorial honoring the crew of Snap, Crackle, Pop at the crash site. The French people who had once seen him fall from the sky embraced him as a symbol of survival and courage. Alan Magee passed away in 2003, aged 84. His story remains one of the most astonishing examples of human endurance in aviation history, a reminder that even in the inferno of war, miracles sometimes happen. The story of Staff Sergeant Alan Eugene Magee is more than an incredible tale of survival. It is a timeless reflection of human resilience and faith in the face of impossible odds. From the moment he stepped into the ball turret of his B-17 Snap, Crackle, Pop, Magee accepted the dangers of war. Yet when the skies above Saint-Nazaire turned into a storm of fire and steel, and death seemed certain, what emerged was not despair, but an unbreakable will to live. His fall, 4 miles through the cold January air, was not just a physical descent, but a journey through fate itself. The shattered glass roof that broke his fall became a symbol of the fragile boundary between life and death, between the chaos of war and the quiet miracle of survival. In that instant, Alan Magee's story transcended the battle. It became a story about the strength of the human spirit. What do we learn from this? We learn that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to face it. That survival is not only about luck, but about the stubborn refusal to give up, even when everything seems lost. We learn that war, for all its destruction, cannot destroy the deepest parts of our humanity: hope, faith, and compassion. Magee's life after the war teaches another vital truth: healing is possible. He returned to France not with bitterness, but with gratitude, standing where he once fell, and thanking those who helped him live. In his humility and peace, we see the enduring lesson that even after the darkest storms, a man can choose to forgive, rebuild, and honor the life he was given. So, from Alan Magee's fall, the world learned that survival is not an accident. It is a testament to courage, destiny, and the invisible hand that sometimes saves those who are meant to remind us, never surrender, even when falling from the sky.